welcome to Black Star Tarot. This is your general or spiritual reading for the month of June. Thank you guys for stopping and watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and let's see what messages we have for Leo Spirit. You don't belong in there. Let's put you back where you belong. All right. Let's give the cards a good shuffle, Leo. Get them all mixed up here so we don't have any repeat offenders. All right, let's see. Messages for Leo Spirit. What do we have for Leo? All right. Oh, wow. So we have a little chaos and conflict, which I personally believe, right, is initiated by the divine, as well as too many people being around you. All right, and so this energy is here and will be coming in next month to kind of balance some things out. And the reason why I say that is because I'm looking at the card that we have here. So it's number 33. Okay, so 33, as you know, is a master number. And it speaks of like the subconscious mind, the Christ consciousness. It is significant in all religions. Like 33 is significant in all religions, but it shows up when alignment is needed. All right, it's a divine energy, and it comes in to basically tune, you know, your energy, your vibrations. Okay, it's you know, this is all about knowledge. Okay, knowledge and understanding. So a lot of times when we go through shit, we go through it because there's something that, you know, we need to learn. Okay, so this is spirit directly probably giving you a little bit of energy that's gonna ruffle some things up, only because there is something here that you probably need to know. So right now there could be some disarray going on, or maybe coming in. Okay, you could be crossing paths with someone else, and it may not be an easy one. There could be some tension, you know, some, you know, of the opposites, so to speak. But there's always value in chaos. All right, we can agree with that. Okay, so I hate to start a reading with a card as such, but if you just stay with me, you know, and just understand that, you know, even some of the most challenging cards always have, you know, beauty in them. And so I believe that there is always, you know, order out of chaos and value in chaos and conflict. It really allows you to see the bigger picture. So this could be concerning anything. You know, if it's a relationship, you could be dealing with, you know, a stubborn person, someone maybe who needs to be right, you know, all the time. And instead of using, I guess, whatever they're experiencing as a means to learn something, their focus is really, you know, just on them. Okay, as far as finances, when this card shows up, just know that, you know, the things that are happening right now. So if your money's a little tight and the situation's a little stormy right now, it may feel like things are just out of control. Just know that there's a divine purpose for the chaos. You know, everything, you know, will work out, and everything that doesn't work out, you know, the only thing you can do is basically take from it the truest parts of it, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Finding value in a particular situation. But as a whole, when this card, according to the book, let's see what this book has to say. Chaos and conflict. So chaos and conflict shows up when there are opposing forces that come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos, exactly, that serves you well. As you become unmoored by it, scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at a cross purpose with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. I like that last part. This is a time to understand than to be understood. You know, Leo, some people are just stupid. Just saying it like it is. Okay, I'm not, I've learned with age that sometimes like sugarcoating things just doesn't work, right? It says a time to understand than to be understood. No matter what you say to this person, or whoever this is, or what the situation is, right? Let's say if it's a person, no matter what you say to them, they ain't gonna get it, right? So it's just best that you understand that they may have some issues, right? Like I said, it could be a stubborn person that you're dealing with here. So instead of trying to be understood, right, trying to argue with them or to convince them or get them to see the error of their ways, it's just best to understand that, you know what, this isn't worth me. This isn't worth my time. It isn't worth my resources. It's not worth my energy, and just kind of push on. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's just the way that it is. Okay, it's not always necessary to argue and fight, particularly if you know it's not going nowhere, because people will be people. Okay, so you may, and this doesn't have to be all dramatic and whatnot. The card says chaos and conflict. However, I do feel like you may have found yourself in a situation where this person said this person said that, this person said this, because we have these threes here. So I feel like it's just probably not like a one-on-one kind of thing, like you and somebody else. It could be you, somebody else, and somebody else. Okay, that there's a third person, involved here. It doesn't have to be a relationship, although this could be a family matter or situation, a work situation, doesn't matter. Any environment where there's a multitude of people. So just be mindful of this next month, right? Or this upcoming month. So if you're at work and you see that, there's somebody that's agitating the energy in the room, don't feed. don't project. Just let it be, right? It ain't even your business. Now, if someone's drawing you in, pulling you into some type of chaos and conflict, you know how you got to do it. Literally just gradually step back, right? You know what I'm saying? Be a step above, take the high road when it comes to this situation, because there may be somebody here that just wants to fight, that wants to engage, that wants to argue, that's just maybe having a hard time. Maybe they're in a bad mood. I don't know. Maybe they're going through something, and here they are coming into work, or coming home from work, wanting to project whatever they're going through onto you. Okay, Leo, so we're not going to pay this any attention, other than the fact that if you deal with somebody this month and this is the type of energy that they have, like say if this is a friend that you've been dealing with or someone you just met, this is just the universe letting you know, like, this is what you're dealing with. Leave this person alone. Just leave them alone. They're not worth it. They need to heal, okay? All right, let's see. Unity, card number 5, right? And this is what I'm saying. Like, 5s are about conflict, change. I personally often associate 5s with some type of change, some type of conflict, some type of disruption. That's just me personally. Okay, and it says here traditional viewpoints or methods. So this could be family. You could be arguing about, the way you raise your family. So this could be it says methods, right? So you could be at work, maybe getting into conflict about how things are organized or the layout, at work. It says spiritual organizations. Hell, some of you could be, having chaos and conflict in your church. Who knows? It says seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So again, if, like I said earlier, if you have a friend that you are dealing with that's just always chaotic, always conflict, always, I'm not even joking with you, Leo. My phone just rang. I didn't pick it up because I was doing another reading. But then when I was in between a reading, I go and I look at the phone and it's a friend. And when I went to start to read the message, it's all about chaos and conflict. Seriously. Stuff that ain't got nothing to do with her. But yet she's all in somebody else's business and how their kids was taken away and all of that stuff. And I get it. Like when some people ain't got nothing else to do, they always, projecting, like to keep their mind off of their own issues. They're in somebody else's. Okay. So, sometimes, it's best to keep like-minded people around us. And without getting into a long drawn out story, somebody told me when I was having issues, and I mentioned this in another reading, when I was having issues with my circle, I realized that I had grown out of that circle, right? And it was time for me to seek out like-minded people, right? I was dealing with some ratchet girlfriends back in the day, and when I, kind of, changed my life around physically, spiritually, educational, things like that, like these tramps, started, getting jealous and acting stupid and wanting to cause chaos and conflict, right? Saying I said stuff that I never said just because they were hating and jealous, right? So I had to change my circle. I had to seek out like-minded friends. So most of my friends now are professionals. People that, I've worked with. Like, it's a shame that, there's not too many people that I used to run with when I was younger on my Facebook page. There are some, but most of them are people, other nurses, there are other, surgical techs, there are other professionals that I've come across because they're like-minded people. So, if you guys are experiencing this month, like if your community, right, card number 33, threes are about community. If your community or the people that you unionize with is all about chaos and conflict, it's time to seek out new friends. That's just the way that it is. Otherwise, you're just going to stay, in this energy. And nobody got time for this. I know I don't. I don't have time for it. Life is stressful as it is. You turn on the news, you're stressed out. You go to work, you're stressed out, right? You get on the road driving with these retards, you're stressed out. It's just crazy. So who has time for this? As many people as you can get away from you that's dysfunctional and toxic, the better, okay? So, this chaos and conflict that's coming in just shows you who you're really dealing with. It also shows you the universe is trying to show you that it's just time to go. You need a new squad. You need new people to run with. You need people that's on your level. Right? What else for Leo this month? Messages for Leo. Ooh. All right. So look at this. You got the 3 of Cups. Your circle is crazy, yo. Oh, I love the Sun. Oh, let's talk about the Sun. All right. Oh, I don't know which one I want to talk about first. They're both so juicy. I love when I get into these, when I be going into my little rants or whatever, and, the you show up, like the person shows up, like the fact you just showed up, in your reading. So the Sun is a you, right? So the universe is like, yo, Leo, I'm talking to you, okay? I'm trying to point the finger at you. So Leo, you showed up in your own reading, and you have probably one of the most beautiful cards like in the tarot deck when it comes to the major arcanas, okay? And this card represents happiness, satisfaction, clarity, prosperity, right? And my favorite is shining the light on a particular situation or something here. So the universe is saying, hey, Leo, I can't shine no brighter than the sun to point out to you that the people that you have in this 3 of Cups, like you, your girlfriend and the girlfriend, right? Like I can't shine the light any brighter telling you that you need to change, you need to switch it up. Okay, the 3 of Cups talks about good times, right? But these are the people that you party with. These are the people that you are in a group setting with. Some of them are toxic, okay? Some of them are all about chaos and conflict. So some of them or all of them need to go, okay? They need to go. So I appreciate this card showing up because it really points out that you are in control of this because you're showing up in your own reading and it's a major arcana. Okay, so this isn't a situation that's going to change with thoughts or change with, passing of time, right? The major arcanas, when they show up, they stay. Their energy stays. Whereas, say, with the court cards, when they show up, you can change those energies quite easily, just by changing your thoughts, changing your mind, just taking a different course of action. But when the Sun shows up, whatever energy the majors represent, I personally believe that they're going to show up. Okay, so with the Sun showing up here, this is the universe saying boldly and loudly that if you guys experience this chaos and conflict, that you need to recognize the situation for what it is. These are not your friends. You understand me? Okay, this is the universe making it clear to you that you are above them. You know what I'm saying? Like Leo, this energy is the epitome of goodness, happiness, where your head should be lifted high, where you're satisfied, you're happy, you're being fulfilled, like your relationships are based off of love, not chaos and conflict. You know what I'm saying? So All I'm saying is that, you know, you could have a little bit of an issue, you know, maybe you and two other people is really kind of what I'm seeing, okay? And there may be a need to kind of like, you know, maybe get some new friends, okay? Because somebody here, one or two, or all three, you know, are just, you know what I'm saying? It's just a mess. So the Seven of Cups, let's get some more cards, okay? I just see some confusion here about a particular situation. And we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, which I'm going to leave it. I don't normally take reverses, but I'm going to take it because I would rather be in reverse than for it to be in an upright position, okay? And then we have the Eight of Wands. And this one also popped out, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. So here's what I'm seeing. For some of you, there's going to be conflict about some money. All right, so if, you know, there's going to be some conflict that's involving money. So either this conflict is at work, or there could be a situation where, you know, someone may have, you know, lied or stolen from you or taken something, didn't pay it back. For others of you, I see an argument here, right? Maybe a message that came in, somebody said something to somebody else. Again, it could have had to do with money, could have had to do with love or relationship, one or the other, all right? But I do see a conversation between individuals here. This page is here. Pages always bring messages. All right, so that tells me that, you know, this could definitely, so let's talk about the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands can often represent like work, jobs, you know, money, things like that, you know, because he represents like money, manifestation. It does have a little bit, carries a little bit of that energy of money, news, learning something, you know. And so what I'm picking up from this card is that some of you may learn something, you know, you may hear something, learn something, could definitely be on your job, whatever it is something about a message. You could start a new job, or maybe you hear that someone's starting a new job, I don't know, but you could hear definitely a message about money, or messages, or this is a message just going back and forth, you know, at your job. Okay, there's a little bit of confusion here with the Seven of Cups. All right, so somebody could have chosen maybe a different opportunity, maybe what am I seeing? Like I don't know, I feel the confusion is real. And the reason why I'm picking up on this is because of because it's more than just two people. It's like a crowd of folks, probably three or more. It's like a group of people, lots of confusion, a lot of back and forth, a lot of messages, you know, real petty catty stuff, to be honest. And it doesn't have to be women. This could very well be men. But whatever this is, you know, there's someone here that, you know, could have just been caught in a lie, because I feel with the Seven of Swords in reverse, there was someone here that was maybe being a little backstabber, you know, maybe being a little sneaky, opportunist, like, you know, I don't know, but it's in reverse. So I feel like they got caught. So they may have been trying to hide or disguise their deception, you know, or yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like they were hiding, I don't know, hiding whatever they were doing. But I feel like, you know, the truth came out somehow, like the clarity came out, the truth came out here. So a lot of you may find out some information that, you know, somebody just, you know, wasn't a friend, that somebody was being sneaky, being backstabbing, going back, talking about somebody behind the other person's back. And I mean, this is just what the messages are saying. Like, I'm seriously, like, it's crazy, but I mean, it exists. Okay. And then we have this, the Death card here. So some of you could be dealing with, you know, another Leo. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, or any water sign. Strong Scorpio emphasis here for some reason. That could be kind of up in this mix. So be mindful of them Scorpios. I'm not saying I'm wrong with Scorpios. I love Scorpios. One of my closest friends is a Scorpio. But I'm just saying, right, you know, they, you know, just be mindful of that. But the Death card, you know, is saying that it's just really time to wrap this up. So if this is a group of you guys that maybe have been friends for a while, you know, I just feel like, you know, it's time to, you know, move on. It's time to be around people, you know, that are of the same caliber, right, that are of like mind, that want something new. Like the Death card, you know, speaks of, you know, changes. Okay, that maybe this cycle, this friendship, this cycle, you guys have just fizzled out, you know, and it's time to get something new. So this is definitely an ending of something. So I don't really see whatever this conflict and chaos is, I don't really see people fixing this right now. I honestly see an ending to whatever this friendship is or this relationship is, this group of people. I just don't see it. However, I do see someone learning something here, like seeing the truth or the clarity about somebody. And Leo, honestly, I feel like there's somebody here that you kind of knew, particularly with the Seven of Cups, that like, you know what, this person seemed a little shady, right? So if you work with this person seemed a little shady, and maybe you really didn't have any proof. But I feel like now, if you're going to hear something, find out something that is going to, you know, bring your suspicions to light. Okay. And that's just going to cause you to leave this person alone. Right. Another thing I like about this Page of Wands, you know, this page is just like, look, I don't need nobody but me at the end of the day. Like, look at he just standing there. You know, he's just doing his own thing. I can talk to myself, you know, it's kind of how he's feeling, right? I could just go get a new job. I could just start over, right? Because the Page of Wands represents a solid start. I could just start over. I don't need none of these witches, right? I don't need none of these nigglets, right? I'm just going to go ahead and just do my own thing. This drama is just way too much. So whatever this conflict and chaos is, like I said, there's value in it because you get to see people for who they really are. And then you could just leave them the hell alone. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much the end of this reading. So expect, you know, some information coming in, lots of back and forth between you, you know, and maybe some others, lots of communication, lots of lies, you know, somebody trying to get away with something here, but they don't, right? I feel like if they were trying to deceive you with the Seven of Swords in reverse, that ain't going to happen. You'll see the truth, you'll move on with your life, and that'll be the end of that. All right. Look at here. You can't make this up. Walk with dreamers and believers. You see what I'm saying? So it's really just time to just, you know, change your circle. You know, deal with people who maybe just be a little bit more emotionally mature, you know, mentally sound, right? And ready to be adults, okay? Exactly. That's what I was saying. Push on. You don't need this nonsense, okay? Yes. Yeah. And then you got release this. Let these peasants go. You know what I'm saying? Like, let these peasants go. You know, they are beneath you, Leo. They are the squalor of the community. You know what I'm saying? Let them go. All right, Leo. So this is what I have for you. This is stupid, and but it's okay. You know, like I said, chaos, it is what it is, but there's blessings in everything, right? And so this is a blessing. So just be prepared if this hasn't happened already, that, you know, just keep your eye out. If you are dealing with a circle of people and you got some suspicions, then just know to start just creeping away now, right? Before this even starts, okay? That's the good thing about tarot. It kind of gives you a heads up, right? If this is somebody in your workplace, be mindful that they may be trying to cause a little trouble, okay? So don't engage, don't entertain, don't get involved. Just take the high road, walk away.